4 safaris, 0 tigers. I was starting to lose hope. But then, just as we were leaving, boom! 3 tigers right by the road as if they were waiting for us. Hey everyone, I am Ajinkya Dixit and welcome to AJINX the Artist. In this video, I am taking you on a roller coaster of emotions through the wild heart of Tadoba. We landed in Nagpur around 8:30 am, drove straight to the resort and geared up for our very first safari in the Junona buffer zone of TATR. What happened next? You've got to see it to believe it. So don't skip a second. Junona is known to be one of the most active zones in Tadoba, and we were buzzing with excitement, convinced this would be the safari where we'd see our first tiger. But fate had other plans. Just a few alarm calls and not a single sighting. Back at the resort, we heard that our second gypsy, which had gone to the Moharli core zone, had witnessed the majestic male tiger Yuvraj in all his glory. Photos, videos, roars. And us, you ask? Just a big pile of disappointment. It hurt. Our money, our excitement, our hopes all vanished like mist in the morning sun. I know a jungle safari isn't just about tigers, but let's be honest, we've made it all about tigers. The name, the logo, the advertising, everything is centered around this one animal. So, of course, when you don't see it, it stings. But the forest is so much more than that. The rustling trees, the wild calls of birds, the sudden glimpse of a deer, it's all part of the magic. Still, the harsh truth, most visitors don't care. For many, if there is no tiger, there is no thrill. And that's the reality of wildlife tourism in India. With those thoughts in mind, I got ready for our next safari. This time in the Nimdela buffer zone, home to the legendary Chota Matkasur, a powerful male tiger who's ruled these lands for years. Our guide gave us hope. He said a tigress named Jharni and her 3 cubs were active nearby. And that was all we needed to reignite our excitement. Soon, other guides whispered that 2 cubs had been spotted, but they had vanished in the forest before we arrived. We waited in silence, hopeful, but no sign. At the central rest stop, more buzz. Chota Matka had been spotted just minutes ago. We dashed to the location, hearts pounding, but gone again. Into the forest, another tiger missed, another crushing letdown. Deflated, we returned to the rest point for a quick breakfast, knowing our safari time was running out. As we headed back toward the gate, we still held on to that last bit of hope. Maybe a tiger would cross our path, but no, not this time. Back at the resort, we met our group from the second gypsy. They had seen Choti Madhu and her cubs. I mean, what? Why them? Why not us? Another dry safari. Sagre paise gele. That afternoon, we had our next chance. Moharli core zone. From my experience, I knew this was a vast area and tiger sightings weren't guaranteed. The Moharli gate, now a stunning tourist hub, welcomed us as we entered with our gypsy and guide. Heading toward Telia Lake, our guide suddenly paused. She'd seen something. Eyes deep in the bushes. She reversed a bit, focused, and then pointed. There they were, 2 leopards, resting quietly in the grass. My first wild leopards, and that a pair, no less. What Nagzira couldn't give me, Tadoba just did. The leopards were so perfectly camouflaged. Absolutely incredible. Finally, a moment of pure joy. This sighting made up for everything. With our spirits lifted, we pressed on, hopeful for more. At the core zone, about 20 gypsies were gathered near a water hole. We learned that a tigress named Roma was napping under a tree nearby. No, not from Pune, but I'm sure she could tell we were. After some waiting and no movement, we decided to check other areas. We headed to Yuvraj's territory, where he'd been seen the previous day. Total silence, not a soul, no tigers, no animals, just the burning sun. Then, suddenly word spread. Roma was walking on the main road. We raced there as fast as our gypsy could go, only to glimpse her disappearing into the bushes. All the other vehicles had followed her and we were at the end of the line. She was gone. And just like that, another almost sighting. Some gypsies left, but few of us waited quiet, hoping, watching. Would she come back? 25 minutes passed. Nothing. The forest had gone silent. Our time was almost up. And just like that, our third safari ended. Still, no tigers. The leopards were a silver lining, sure. But what our second gypsy witnessed at Nimdela, that was on another level. A tigress named Chanda had stepped out for her evening stroll, casually marking her territory, with only one gypsy there to witness it. Just one. I mean, why God, why? An up-close private encounter with a wild tigress. This kind of sighting is ultra rare. And the fact it happened at the exact same time as our drive, that stung. We looked through their pictures, watched those cinematic slow motion clips, and suddenly, even the leopards felt like a fading memory. This trip was turning into a test of patience. Now came our final safari, entering through Kutwanda Gate, which leads straight into the core zone. This was it, our last shot. We saw a wild dog dart across the path, heard some distant alarm calls. We waited, we roamed, we hoped, and still nothing. Yes, you heard that right. 4 safaris, no tiger sightings. We came all this way, invested our time, money, energy, and excitement, and ended up with a feeling of emptiness. Talking with fellow travelers later, I realized I wasn't alone. Some had completely given up on safaris, others were just as dejected. But what hit me the most wasn't just the absence of tigers, it was the realization of how far I had drifted from my original intent. I came here to connect with nature, to breathe in the forest, to discover, to feel. But somewhere along the way, it turned into a silent competition, a desperate chase for tigers as if they were trophies. Honestly, I wasn't happy with that. We were heading back to the resort, quiet and disheartened, each of us lost in the cloud of disappointment. The trip felt incomplete. That's when it happened. A sudden stop. A couple of locals on bikes waved us down. There's a tiger just a few feet off the road. Like a perfectly choreographed move, all our heads snapped to the left. At first, I thought a consolation prize maybe. But hey, after 4 tigerless safaris, even a glimpse would be something. We scanned the bushes, squinting into the shadows. It was hard to even make out anything clearly. And then another twist. From the right side, a group of women spotted movement near the pond. We turned and there he was, a massive male tiger, calmly walking along the edge of the water, away from the growing crowd and chaos. Jaw dropped. He was powerful, majestic, and completely unfazed. We had finally seen a tiger. Yes, the real deal, in the wild, and not just one. As we moved slowly forward, another tiger just suddenly emerged. This time from the right, a tigress, likely the mother of the cub hidden in the bushes on the left, was trying to cross the road. Our driver instinctively pulled over, giving her space. Everyone else was too focused on the male tiger to notice her. And then, magic. She crossed right in front of our vehicle, just a few feet away. A private moment, just us and the tigress. She was nervous, clearly startled by the commotion behind us. A couple of mock charges toward the crowd reminded us she is wild, powerful, and not to be underestimated. And then, like a whisper, she vanished into the forest. Those few seconds, electric, thrilling, etched in our memories forever. Yes, a successful tiger sighting at last. Not 1, not 2, but 3 tigers. A matter of minutes, a roller coaster of emotions finally ended on the highest of highs. Happy, content, grateful, because sometimes when you least expect it, the forest rewards you. If this wild ride moved you, thrilled you, or just made you smile, hit that subscribe button, share the video with your fellow nature lovers, and follow me on social media for more adventures from the wild. And if you'd like to support our journey and help us bring more stories like this to life, consider joining us on Patreon. This is AJINX the Artist, where art meets the wild. See you in the next one.